Hi, everyone. I'm Pat Prokop, retired meteorologist here in Savannah, Georgia, watching Tropical Storm Elsa. The storm itself has now moved ashore and is located in north central Florida, about 100 miles west of Jacksonville, kind of near the Madison area, moving up between Madison and toward Jasper, the center of rotation right about here at this time. And we are seeing some strong winds associated with this circulation around here, but not as much as it has been. The winds have been decaying ever since it made landfall, with 65 miles an hour earlier this morning. Now we're seeing winds around 50 miles an hour at the best, and some of the winds coming in across the region are less than that. As a matter of fact, I can take a look at that right now. Looking at the manager here, I can put on the winds. And there we see a 25 knot wind at St. Simon's Island, about 30 miles an hour over here just at Valdosta itself. So we are seeing some winds picking up, but in these bands of heavy rain squalls, that's where you could see some very much stronger winds associated with the tropical storm, as it's now beginning to move more north-northeast at about 14 miles an hour. And also associated with this is the potential for tornadoes, and a tornado watch has been issued for the northern portions of northeast Florida and all of southeastern Georgia and the southern portion of South Carolina, including all of my area of South Carolina, including Beaufort, Hilton Head, Bluffton, Hardeeville, Hampton, under a tornado watch until 8 o'clock. This will probably get extended farther northeastward this evening as the remnants of Elsa continue to move off to the northeast. Now, let's take a look at the computer models at this time. And once again, on my webpage, savannahpat.name, very clever name, don't you think, for a webpage? Anyway, looking down at the computer model, scrolling down there, you can see my radars. I have the radar set one over here from the Charleston National Weather Service, a little bit closer, tighter view showing all of southeastern Georgia and the southern portion of South Carolina. And then the other view is the view coming in from my floating radar, which right now I have centered at the Valdosta Moody Air Force Base radar. And that's showing the bands of rain moving northward into our area. Now, going to the computer models, from Tropical Tidbits, which I subscribe to this page, and if you might want to look into that as well if you like weather, following weather like I do. Go to southeast, get a little bit tighter view here, and let's pick on the mesoscale and go with the high resolution rapid refresh product, or the HRRR we sometimes call it. And here's the latest forecast now. The storm itself is right over here in north central portions of Florida. And each hour it's showing the depiction what the computer models are forecasting, and it shows these bands of heavy rains and squalls over here in southeastern Georgia. This is at 8 o'clock this evening, already seeing the rain moving into the Hilton Head, Bluffton, Beaufort area. Going back in time, let's see when it starts. We're starting to see the rains moving into the Savannah area and Statesboro at about 3 or 4 o'clock this afternoon, and the heavier bands, though, that's coming in around 8 or 9 o'clock this evening and continuing until up to the Savannah River, ending around 3 o'clock in the morning. 7 Zulu is 3 o'clock a.m. Eastern Daylight Time, and then progressing northward. You can see the system by sunrise is pushed north of our area. So if you have any plans for tomorrow, that looks pretty good. You don't have to worry about canceling any plans for tomorrow, because this will be out of here. It'll be a little bit on the breezy side, on the back side of this system. But let's take a look at the satellite imagery just while we are here and peeking around on my website. And here you have the satellite data is right there. And pick on the quick view of the southeast. Now, this is the natural color view, but there's a product here you can select called the Sandwich RGB, and this shows you quite a bit of what's going on. There you can see the intensity of the storm. There you can see right there around Valdosta, a new wave flaring up at that moment, and we're seeing some activity right along the St. Mary's River flaring up. That's heading in toward the well, the Brunswick area, St. Simon's Jekyll of Brunswick, Cumberland Island, just to the south of that. All this is moving off toward the northeast. Now, if you go to the back to my page and go farther northward, you can see the continuation of the track from the National Hurricane Center as the storm center staying to the west of the coastal areas of Georgia and South Carolina. And on the east side, this side here, is usually your most turbulent side of a tropical system. This is where you get the possibility for isolated tornadoes in the squalls that come up through. And there is a tropical storm warning in effect for the coastal areas of Georgia and South Carolina. That's basically more for the ocean waters and near the beaches where you can see tropical storm force winds at their surface there. Now, what about winds for us? Well, we probably could see some winds in the ballpark of 30 to 40 miles an hour throughout the afternoon hours. I think the National Weather Service downplayed it a little bit. Let's take a look at the point forecast for the winds and the rain and clouds and wind. Yeah, you see, they did drop it. There was earlier today they were thinking about 40 to 45 mile an hour winds gusting. Now they're thinking only in the 20 to 25 to 30 mile an hour range, 34 at Tybee Island. Looking down in some of the other areas, well, Newington, 44 miles an hour. How about that? Hilton Head Island and the area around Hilton Head, Hardyville, Bluffton region, we're seeing again, winds in excess of 30 miles an hour, but not 40 miles an hour. So that's some good news, maybe a little weakening there. However, I must caution you that in some of these squalls, the winds could be stronger in excess of 40 to 50 miles an hour briefly, but could cause tree limb damage. So once again, as we go back to the radar view, and we can see that the storm is very wet, very strong, and moving slowly north-northeastward at about 14 miles an hour. It will continue to weaken with the winds as it pushes to the northeast. Our biggest threat now, though, is the rains that are going to be associated with it and the very strong winds inside of some of the squalls. And the bulk of the activity in the Greater Savannah, Hilton Head area will be from late this afternoon to about midnight tonight. So until then, stay safe. Thanks for watching.